I don't give a fuck. And today I'm gonna explain why you shouldn't either. Trust me, you're gonna wanna stick around because this shit is gonna get crazy. I mean, you wanna know why Britain being in absolute uproar over the color of a flag on a football t-shirt is all Macedonia's fault, don't you? Of course you do. Okay, so if you happen to be blessed enough to be living outside of this grey little island, you probably haven't heard of all this drama. Essentially, Nike revealed their new official England football kit, and fucking tragedy, absolute horror, they minorly changed the color of the tiny flag on the back of the collar. Now, whilst I do think it was unnecessary and to me makes no sense to temporarily change the color of a flag for a sporting event, especially since it represents the national team's shirt, I also just don't give a fuck. The only element I kind of care about in this situation are flags. I mean, bruh, anyone seen that new Bougainville flag? That should go crazy. And to me, neither of these football England flags are good. So I came up with my own proposal. I think it catapults the other two out of the water, honestly. Anyway, I'm not trying to come across like I'm too good for football and not caring and trying to be nihilistic and cool. I know how much the footy means to a lot of people on this island. How a lot of dudes don't touch grass outside of a pitch. And how for some, it's their only source of excitement, evidently. But my true thoughts on this matter are actually pretty deep, and I will get to explaining them in 1 second. First, I want to clear up some stuff real quick. A big misconception about this situation is that Nike changed the flag to be more inclusive for trans people. I guess because the trans flag is blue and pink, a tiny bit like this new flag. But that's like me saying I'm Japanese because the Japanese flag is red and white, same as the England flag. Don't think that's the case, honestly. Yeah, it turns out this is more of a case of people exploding over something without doing the slightest bit of research and just blindly listening to what politicians are telling them. Nigel Farage angrily called it woke. Lee Anderson said, "This virtue signaling, pearl clutching woke nonsense must stop. Any more of this and I'll be on the first flight to Rwanda." Brother, I would instantly change our official flag if it meant I could see this sheltered, wrinkly man-child pussy go a week in Rwanda without crying. Imagine that for reality TV, bro. Anyway, if unlike these guys, you actually do approximately 1.5 seconds of research, you'll figure out the actual reason Nike changed it was that it was inspired by the training kit worn by England's 1966 World Cup winners. That was the only time we've ever won the World Cup, by the way. So Nike obviously wanted to remind us that we were actually good at something once about a century ago. The important thing is that this has absolutely nothing to do with wokeness or the trans flag, and is actually a celebration of historical British victory, skill and patriotism. And the silliest thing is, the St. George's Cross on England's official football kit has been changed so many times, and it wasn't even put on kits in the first place till 1998. 2004 they had this kind of reverse Danish flag. In 2006 they had this kind of red sword. In 2010 they had these greeny blue crosses. In 2012 they had these light red crosses, etc, etc. No one gave a shit back then, but as soon as a minutely stereotypically feminine color gets involved, all the football geezers start crying like little girls. How ironic. Realistically though, I think the main reason people suddenly care so much isn't because of the color. No, more so because they're all fucking bots being manipulated and controlled by the government, okay? The dudes that are the most upset over this are all the "I escaped the Matrix" type people. And I will happily give you a rundown on how they are the biggest Matrix controlled bots of them all. But before I get into that, this video is sponsored by Fume, an award-winning flavored air device that can play an important role in helping you cut down on your bad habits in a chill, non-extreme way. Switching to Fume is very different from switching to unhealthy alternatives, because instead of sucking down big, annoying, sickly clouds, you're just breathing in fresh, flavorful air. No harmful chemicals, all natural, clean oxygen. No nicotine, but it still effectively replaces your hand-to-mouth habit and tastes delicious at the same time. So if you're done with feeling guilty and unhappy with that sneaky habit you can't kick, Fume has you covered. Look at that sleek, natural, rustic design as well. 10 out of 10. Fume is also really helpful for de-stressing as it has movable parts that you can fidget with, plus it can be used to control and relax your breathing. This device has thousands of success stories, so why not give it a shot? Try Fume out now, hit the link in description for 10% off. Now, go do it anyway. You know that dude Rishi Suck that, yeah? He doesn't want you pathetic working class commoners to debate, argue, or even look into the real scummy bullshit him and his government are doing. Corruption is at its all-time highest in this country, which is insane. Economic decline is the worst it's ever been in recent times, which is insane. The unelected current government and the unelected House of Lords have giant investments in the businesses they control. Rishi Sunak and his wife launder multiple millions of pounds every year through India, and to fill the monetary void, literally being left by unelected lords drinking luxury champagne, the normal folk are expected to pick up the slack, meaning high taxes, yet mass failure of all the stuff our taxes fund. Schools, healthcare, public transport, private transport, anything we pay for. Oh, did I mention inflation? The country is in crisis, being plunged further and further down a black hole of greed and suffering, perfectly dug by a low-level dictator, and you're mad about a fucking football t-shirt? How can't everyone see that's exactly what he wants? I mean, I don't know about you, but I haven't seen a speech or national address from this geezer in months, until it's time to stoke the flames about some bullshit that will keep everyone divided and distracted from the fact that he's ramming a metaphorical serrated bread knife down our unprotected British assholes.
Well, look, obviously I prefer the original, and my general view is that when it comes to our national flags, we shouldn't mess with them because they're a source of pride, identity, who we are, and they're perfect as they are.
Oh, such a patriot. He's so proud of his national identity and Britain's flag. That's why him and his family generously pour their vast amount of tax payments into the Indian economy. That's right, having a teeny tiny tax percentage for the top 0.001% wasn't enough. Blood couldn't even pay that. And he's telling us that we should care about a football shirt to show our patriotism? It's crazy that we live in a time where a fucking oligarch can openly and obviously fuck our country, but he makes one comment about the design of a 3cm wide flag on the back of a polo shirt, and suddenly all the geezers down the pub are calling him one of the good Indians. It's such a classic British move, you know. The government and the media sources they've indoctrinated are so good at keeping us idiots squabbling about football t-shirts, about face-tuned photos of the royal family, about who went to a party in COVID. Just meaningless rubbish. It is literally the final step of the Roman practice divide and conquer. Step 1 is creating or encouraging divisions among the subjects to prevent alliances that would challenge the sovereign, and disturbing forces so that they overpower each other. Step 2 is aiding and promoting those who are willing to cooperate with the sovereign. Step 3, fostering distrust and enmity between local rulers. Step 4, encouraging meaningless expenditures that reduce the capability for political and military spending. And boom, they've been fucking us since
300
BC. Wait, who invented this shit? Oh, them fucking Macedonians! I knew it was all their fault.